anywhere. Yes, the future's been sold every night we're gone. And to karaoke songs, how we like to sing along, though the words are wrong. It really, really, really could happen. Yes, it really, really, really could happen. When the days they seem to fall through, you will just let them go. Is alone. Satellites in every home. Yes, the universe was here for everyone. Every paper that you read says tomorrow's your lucky day. Well, here's your lucky day. It really, really, really could happen. Yes, it really, really, really could happen. If the days they seem to fall through, you will just let them go. Well, it really, really, really could happen. Yes, it really, really, really could happen. When the days they seem to fall through, you will just let them go.
So, apparently, it really, really, really can happen. We're Compass, this is the Compass Conference, and it's our job to make sure it really, really, really does happen. I'm Neil Lawson, I'm the chair of Compass. I'm very honoured and proud to be the chair of Compass, and I'll say a bit more about us, Compass, in a bit. First, I'd like to thank Marcus for putting together that inspiring video. It's been quite a journey already, as you've just seen. Second, I'd like to thank The Guardian, The New Statesman and Karl-Heinz from the Friedrich Ebert Stiftung for their support for this event, and all the organisations and all the speakers who have made today possible. We've got a fantastic lineup. And thanks, as ever, to Gavin for making the impossible possible every day, every year for Compass. So thank you very much to Gavin. And finally, thank you for being here. Most of you on time, some people coming in from the back. Please take your seats. The revolution is about to start. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to have a great day. We've got some fantastic speakers, a few surprises. The morning starts with ideas and activism. there'll be just one point of departure from that. This afternoon, you're going to get the politicians, but we start this morning with the interesting stuff. And I'm absolutely delighted. This is the first time we've had a duet at the Compass Conference. We've got Daniel Garvin and Ellie Mae O'Hagan from UK Uncut. It's an organisation that's changing the terms of debate. They go on the attack by fighting the greedy tax dodgers. I think they're exhilarating, I think they're exciting, I think they're profoundly democratic and consensual, and I tell you what, I've never had so much fun in a branch of HSBC on a Saturday afternoon as I've had with UK Uncut. Daniel and Ellie, please come and talk to us.
Oh, okay. Hello? Okay. Don't know about a duet. You don't want to hear that. Okay. It is going to be a two-part speech. We've got 10 minutes, so I'd better be quick. And basically, I'm going to talk about UK Uncut from a perspective of somebody who started the group back in October, and then Ellie is going to come and give a personal account of somebody who got involved later on and hadn't previously been involved in this style of activism before. Okay. On October the 18th, George Osborne announced the deepest cut since 1919 of £82 billion. The following day, buried within a comment piece by Johan Hari, was a small reference to research by an ex-HMRC tax inspector that concluded Vodafone had got away with avoiding some £6 billion in tax. A group of friends, myself included, who had been active in the direct action wing of the environmental movement for the past few years, were itching to react and to do two things. Firstly, to inject into the emerging anti-cuts movement civil disobedience tactics. We felt that a movement based on simple A to B marches would not be enough to stop an ideological plan by an incredibly determined government. Point number two, we wanted to talk about the alternative. The Conservatives have an incredibly powerful argument that must be countered. You know, if a family spending £30,000 every year, but they're only earning 20, this is surely not sustainable. We've got to rein in the spending. This is an incredibly powerful argument. If we're going to build a mass movement in this country, we've got to win the argument with the public. So these friends in October saw a simple parallel. On the one hand, we've got £6 billion that Vodafone have avoided in tax. On the other, it was announced that there'd be a £7 billion cut to welfare. 5 days later, there we were on a drizzly Wednesday morning, 50-odd people blocking the doors of Vodafone. Confusion amongst the workers and the public, a little police aggro, but a very simple message. Here is your alternative, Mr. Osborne. Tax avoidance by the wealthiest in our society costs us £25 billion a year. That's £100 billion over 4 years. A packet of sandwiches later, and we had shut the shop for the majority of the day. We created a simple hashtag on Twitter called UK Uncut, and across the UK, people were discussing shutting Vodafone stores across the country. So we went away and we decided to escalate. We built a basic website with a Google map and said to our little following at the time, let's try and shut as many shops across the country that following Saturday. 3 days later, 30th of October, 25 Vodafone stores were shut from Weymouth all the way to Edinburgh. We seemed to be onto something. Next target, Philip Green and his Arcadia empire. Then came Boots, Tesco, and brands such as Walker's Crisps. Before we knew it, we had hundreds of stores that had been occupied and shut down. The top headline on Channel 4 News showing people in Brighton glued inside the shop windows, Santas being arrested, pensioners conducting sit-ins. The National Audit Office was investigating. HMRC chiefs had UK Uncut on their meeting agendas. The Daily Mail was relatively on board. The Financial Times was discussing the finer points of the general anti-avoidance rule. The Tory Graph was disgusted that Christmas shopping had been ruined. And everyone, it seemed, from Newsnight to the stunned PR magazines, wanted to know why on earth tax has suddenly become the latest craze in British grassroots activism. In 2011, we've rolled out our second simple alternative. We occupied hundreds of banks in February. turn them into public services with another simple message. You gambled, you lost, you took our money, why don't you pay for your own crisis? We've also spread to France, Portugal, Canada, and the US. The last time I checked, US Uncut was storming away with a record 100 protests across the states on in a single day, and were using their rising notoriety in the country to fundraise for a ship in order to sail to the Cayman Islands to demand their money back. What you're looking at is an emerging way of conducting politics across Europe and North America. This has been developing since the alter globalization movement in the 1990s. Loose networks have an incredible ability to be creative, confrontational, critical, to react quickly, and to bring new forms of properly democratic forms of political engagement to the streets and to the community. These movements have no grand master socialist plan or figurehead, and they are certainly not aligned to political parties. Across Europe, such as Spain, Greece, and the UK, people are turning towards the streets to express their political opinions as political parties and often trade unions fail to stand up properly and defend public services and the working people over the demands of capital. UK Uncut continues to be driven by Labour's complete lack of opposition to what is happening in this country today. Hang on. I'm holding here a really crap black shoe. This was given to all 145 UK Uncut activists that were arrested for peacefully sitting inside Fortnum and Mason on March 26th. We had our bags taken off us, our shoes, our clothes, all our possessions. A 15-year-old was held for 24 hours and vomited due to the stress. What on earth can we do? We have no political party making any coherent argument for an alternative to the cuts. So for the time being, we have to do it ourselves. So we have some very simple messages for the Labour Party should adopt. If debt is indeed the problem, why go after the disabled? Why go after the health system, the social housing? Why go after those least able to pay? Some $13 trillion is being held by elites from around the world in offshore bank accounts that they're purely using for their own enjoyment. This is disgusting. There is something so unjust that is happening, and the Labour Party needs to get its act together and actually do something. Please, if a small group of friends with a little bit of influence, a few spare evenings and weekends, and a bit of pocket money can try and do it, I'm sure all those from the party here today can do the same and start defending ordinary working people and the vital public services you're supposed to represent.
Thank you, Daniel.